So Mataji, can I get started?
Hare Krishna, everyone. Thank you for joining in. Today we have our Grace Radhika Kasturi Mataji for Srimad Bhagavatam summary, third canto, chapter 60. Mataji, please take over.
Okay. Thank you, Mataji. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prashtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashyata Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shivasadi Gauravakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Narayanam Namaskrityam, Naram Chaiva Narottamam, Devim Saraswati Vyasam, Tato Jayam Mudirayet, Shrunvata Swakata Krishna, Punya Shravana Kirtanaha, Hridayantastohi Apatrani, Vidunuti Subrat Satam, Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu, Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya, Bhagavati Uttama Sloke, Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki.
In progress.
All right. Hearing echo. Okay, thank you. All right. Thank you, dear devotees, for joining today's call. Welcome to Bhakti Sangha. And today we will be going through the summary for third canto, 16th chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam. I'm really very thankful for your time. And today being an auspicious day, Ekadasi, we are all going to hear and relish Krishna Katha. So kindly pay attention, and I'll also make it interactive so that we can talk to each other during the course of the Katha. Okay. Thank you, dear devotees. Without any further ado, we can get started now. Now, if you look at the previous section, in the previous 1.5 chapters, we saw that Lord Brahma, he was talking about the journey of the 4 Kumaras who are traveling to different places in the universe. Eventually, where are the Kumaras now? They have entered into Vaikuntha, which is the abode of Lord Vishnu, right? And it is located just above Satyaloka. So as per the Acharyas, as per the Vedic literatures, the Vaikuntha into which the 4 Kumaras have entered is located within our universe. It is located above Satyaloka. So this is what is the commentary. So they passed through the 6 gates of Vaikuntha, and when they were about to enter into the inner chambers of Vaikuntha, passing through the 7th gate, the 2 gatekeepers of the 7th gate, which is Jaya and Vijaya, they were looking at the 4 Kumaras. And how were the 4 Kumaras looking? They were looking very, very small. 5-year-old boys without wearing any clothes, without asking for any permission, they are entering inside. And Jaya Vijaya thought, where are these boys coming from? And why are they not wearing any clothes? They are just simply going inside. How is this possible? What is this? So they just stopped those 4 boys and they asked them, who are you? Where do you want to go? And why do you want to go? Something like that. And the 4 Kumaras, their lifespan is as long as that of Brahma. Their age is 50 years of Lord Brahma. But they are appearing like a 5-year-old children. And since they were small children, they were Brahmanas, they were direct sons of Brahma, they were very well-known personalities all over the world. But here, they were stopped by Jaya and Vijaya. Within a moment of stopping them, these people, Jaya and Vijaya, they became angry. And they kind of, not Jaya and Vijaya, the 4 Kumaras, they became angry. And they kind of analyzed the whole situation. They said, you both gatekeepers, Jaya and Vijaya, are thinking that we are intruders, we are going to harm Lord Vishnu. That is what you're thinking now. Can't you understand the position of Lord Vishnu? This entire universe, it is situated in the abdomen of Lord Vishnu. Including you and me, everyone is situated in the abdomen of Lord Vishnu. How can we insignificant beings harm the Supreme Lord? You can't understand the small logic. You people are treating, us so differently. This kind of mentality should not be there in Vaikuntha. With this mentality, how are you guys staying in Vaikuntha? So you better go to Asuraloka. You people, you have to go down to Asuraloka. the place which is not meant for the devatas like beings. So they cursed them. They cursed Jaya and Vijaya like this. Immediately, Jaya and Vijaya, they understood the gravity of the words spoken by the four Kumaras. What did they do? They immediately fell to the lotus feet and they begged for forgiveness. They said, yes, we actually made a mistake. And whatever punishment is given by you is appropriate to our mistake. We would go down like how you cursed us. Okay, no problem. So that our heart is going to be purified of all misgivings. But while we go down, may we request you that we may never forget the Supreme Lord, because we always want to remember the Supreme Lord. And maybe, we should come back to Vaikuntha very quickly. That was, what are the things they requested? They requested that they should remember the Supreme Lord all the time. They should never forget the Supreme Lord. And then what did they say? We want to come back to Vaikuntha very, very quickly. And seeing the humble mentality, humble demeanor of Jaya and Vijaya, the four Kumaras also for a moment kind of felt, oh, did we unnecessarily curse these innocent gatekeepers? Did we do a mistake? As they were thinking like this, who arrived here on the scene? Lord Vishnu immediately arrived there with an intention to mesmerize the four Kumaras and pacify the afflicted Jaya and Vijaya. So this is what is happening now. You're all able to visualize the situation, right? I mean, they entered through the gates, they passed, when they were about to enter to the seventh gate, they were stopped. The four Kumaras were stopped by Jaya and Vijaya. And then there were a lot of dialogues that were happening between Jaya and Vijaya following the curse of the four Kumaras. And now who's entering the scene? We have Lord Vishnu who's entering the scene. And why is he here? To mesmerize the four Kumaras. And also, we see that Jaya and Vijaya are in a very miserable condition. Obviously, they need to be pacified. So that is why Supreme Lord came. And he came along with Mother Lakshmi, right? Mother Lakshmi also accompanied him. So in order to pacify the four Kumaras, the Lord glorified the Brahmanas, because the four Kumaras belong to which community? Brahmana community. So they identified themselves as Brahmanas since they were sons of Lord Brahma. So Lord Vishnu glorified the Brahmanas, saying, the Brahmanas are the best among all living entities. You know what? I always worship the Brahmanas. If my two gatekeepers, Jaya and Vijaya, they have kind of offended you, what I'm ready to do? I'm ready to cut off my hands, because I consider Jaya and Vijaya as my hands. And they are my gatekeepers. And I am ready to accept any punishment because they have offended you. I'm not satisfied by accepting the oblations offered into the fire, which is going to be, which is going to go into my mouth. Instead, I feel very satisfied by eating through the mouths of the Brahmanas. Really, I really feel very good about it. When the Brahmanas are fed with this wonderful foodstuffs, which are all mixed with ghee and other stuffs, I'm very satisfied. I worship the Brahmanas, of which my lotus feet, because I worship the Brahmanas, my lotus feet becomes very powerful. And then it purifies the entire universe. You know, Ganga, which is emanating from my lotus feet, it purifies the entire universe. And Mata Lakshmi, I'm not very attached to her, but she never leaves my service to my lotus feet. In fact, I always serve the Brahmanas. I always keep the dust of the lotus feet of the Brahmanas on my head, because of which I get the power to purify the 3 planetary systems. Even though, if the Brahmanas, by their irritable nature, sometimes they may speak harshly. They may also curse someone else. But we should always respect them. We should always worship their words of glorification. We should never criticize the Brahmanas. We should never find fault with the Brahmanas. We should never do anything with the Brahmanas like that. So the Lord, he's glorifying the Brahmanas like this. And then he pacifies the 4 Kumaras. As I told you, why? Because the four Kumaras are having the identity of the Brahmanas, he glorifies the Brahmanas. And at the end, he says, whatever you have said, whatever curse you have given on to my servants, that is ordained by me only. There is no fault in you. It is not your fault. Don't worry. It is from my side. It is my request that let my servants go down to the lower planetary systems quickly. Let them go down as a result of offense to you, but let them also come back to me as quickly as possible. So this is my request on their behalf. So the Lord is actually asking a favor from the four Kumaras in one sense. So these are the words that are spoken by Lord Vishnu as a matter of glorifying the Brahmanas. In one sense, Brahmanas are those that have dedicated their lives to practice the teachings, that is the Vedic literatures, the teachings of the Vedic literature. Thus, Lord Vishnu actually glorifies them to a great extent. So these are the, when you look at the first 12 verses, the Lord is actually apologizing. The Lord is apologizing to the Kumaras. The Lord, if you specifically the verses 6 to 11, the Lord is glorifying the Brahmanas. So this is the context. And now the 12th verse specifically, it is talking about the fact that my servants, not knowing the mind of their master, that is me, they have committed an offense. Okay, Lord is telling this to four Kumaras. So I shall therefore deem it a favor if you order that, although reaping the fruit of their transgression, they may return to me very soon. Now, here, Vishnu Chakravarti Thakura, he brings a beautiful commentary to say that Lord was not happy with the four Kumaras' act of cursing the doorkeepers. And the above statements of the Lord, they were tinged with a little bit of sarcasm. And the last verse, wanting Jaya and Vijaya to come back to them quickly indicates the deep attachment the Lord has for Jaya and Vijaya. Let them come back to me soon. This is what the Lord is requesting. So this shows that he has great attachment for Jaya and Vijaya. Now, coming to the next section. The next section is going to talk about the situation of the four Kumaras, that is 13 to 15. So let's see what is the situation of the Kumaras. So from this 13th verse onwards, 2 to 3 verses, Lord Brahma talks about what is going on in the mind. See, the whole narration is done by whom? It is done by Lord Brahma. He's just explaining about the four Kumaras going to different parts of the universe, and then they come to Vaikuntha. What happened in Vaikuntha is something that is being explained by Brahmaji now. So here, Brahmaji in the 13th to 15th verse is talking about the fact that what is going on in the mind of the Kumaras. We would like to know, right? As a reader, we want to understand, go deep inside and understand what is in the mind of the Kumaras. I would like to know. You also would like to know. Everybody would like to know. Then only we can get into the subject matter, right? So after hearing the words of Lord Vishnu, the Brahmanas are thinking about it. And then 16 to 25 is going to talk about the four Kumaras responding to the Supreme Lord. They express their situation. So they will be saying, yeah, Lord, you glorified us, but we have done a mistake. How do you think we deserve glorification? So this is what we need to understand from you. How do you think we deserve glorification? So this is something that the four Kumaras are trying to clarify with the Lord. Now, the 13th verse. The 13th verse is saying, it is specifically talking about, the four Kumaras, they are not satisfied with the words of Lord Vishnu because they could not realize the words of the Supreme Lord. They could not understand or realize the words of the Supreme Lord, which were nectarian, because they were overpowered by anger. Because sometimes back, they were very eager to enter into Vaikuntha. With that intention of wanting to have darshan of the Supreme Lord, they were very, very eager. Imagine you are put into the situation, okay? You are wanting to enter into a place which you have been thinking about and longing to enter. And now somebody stops you at the gate and says you can't enter. Won't you feel anger? Won't you feel, you'll be in a very anger and a distressed situation, right? So now, because they are overpowered by anger, they are not able to understand Supreme Lord, and the anger is not yet subsided. Even though they have heard from Vishnu, their anger has not yet subsided. Their Atma is not yet satisfied, having heard the words of Lord Vishnu. So this is what is indicated. This is what is the mood of the four Kumaras now. So that is what the 13th verse is saying. It is saying that their anger is not subsided, and this is the Atma is not satisfied even after hearing the words of the Supreme Lord. And we could understand from this verse that this is the mood of the four Kumaras. Now going to the 14th verse. The 14th verse is saying, even though hearing those words very attentively, the four Kumaras, they have heard the words of the Supreme Lord very, very attentively. They are actually, the words of the Supreme Lord are Satyam. They are Satyam. They are true. They are actually measured. The words spoken by the Supreme Lord, they were measured and spoken. Vishnu did not, Lord Vishnu, he did not speak something more, something less. He spoke whatever is appropriate according to the situation. They seem to be simple, but it has a deeper meaning embedded. So they contain deeper meaning whose intentions are very difficult to understand. Agada Gambiram. So although the Lord appeared to be very happy, very smiling, he was very pleased that the four Kumaras have come to Vaikuntha, the words that are spoken by the Supreme Lord, they were not easy or they were not straightforward. They seem to be simple, but they have a deeper meaning associated with it, which is not clear to understand. So though he is looking very happy and pleasing, the Lord has a sober nature. The four Kumaras could not understand whether the Lord wants to hint something to them, whether the Lord is happy with a smiling face, he has his lotus lips, but the words of glorification are simply glorifying us, or is he just joking with us? They could not understand. Whether the Lord wanted to hint something to the four Kumaras, that also they were not able to understand. The Lord says, I get the power to purify the three planetary systems, or those living entities who take shelter of the, he's saying the Brahmanas consider Vishnu as the object of worship, right? And he gets the power to purify the planetary systems by taking shelter of the lotus feet of the Brahmanas. Now, here is a contradiction that these four Kumaras are coming up with. By worshipping Lord Vishnu, by dedicating the life to Lord Vishnu, to spread the glories of Lord Vishnu, Brahmanas are glorified in the world, right? Brahmanas are glorified. Why? Because they worship Lord Vishnu. How could Lord get the power to purify the world by worshipping the Brahmanas? What is this statement? This is Adishayukti. It seems to be more than what the Brahmanas deserve. And he says, what does the Lord say again? He says, I keep the dust of the lotus feet of the Brahmanas on my head, because of which the lotus feet becomes powerful. It has this purificatory potency because of it. It is by you giving us, the Brahmanas, the Lord is saying that I am getting the power from from the dust of your lotus feet, Brahmanas. This is what the Lord is saying. And now the four Kumaras are like, see, because we respect you, because we glorify you, we are considered to be the best of the Varnas. Why? Because we worship you. That is why we are considered the best of the Varnas. The Brahmanas, they are considered the best of the Varnas. And Brahmanas are respected. They become the guru of the entire universe. But because we are worshipping you, we are glorified in this world. But how can you say by keeping the dust of our lotus feet, you become worthy of worship? This is not at all befitting us. No, not at all. We cannot agree to the statement told by you, Lord. And you have said that if some of my devotees have offended, like if they offend any Brahmanas, I actually cut off my two hands. You said that your gatekeepers, Jaya and Vijaya, they have offended us. That is the four Kumaras. If they have offended us, you will cut off your two hands. And what does this show? This shows you have great affection for Jaya and Vijaya. You consider Jaya and Vijaya to be the two hands. as a part of your body, and you're ready to cut your hands as if there is some mistake on your part. You're saying you're saying my two servants have ignored my intention and they have offended you. They have never ignored your intentions. They are always serving you very nicely. So now apparently, by disrespecting us, by stopping us from entering into Vaikuntha, they seem to be ignoring your intention. But you still, now, even after this incident, you're still saying they are my servants. They are my servants. What does this show? This shows the affection you have for your devotees. And the words of your glorification of the Brahmanas are simply words of respect, so that we don't feel bad. You're just glorifying, so that the four Kumaras, they don't feel bad. So this is what the four Kumaras have understood. And that is why they are saying, you are saying something, Lord, but you're hinting something else. It seems to be something else for us. We are not able to figure that out. Lord's words are simple and sweet like a nectar. It is having the sweet taste of Saraswati river. But they are filled with deep meaning and difficult to comprehend. This is what was shining in the heart of the four Kumaras. Hope you're all clear with what is going on in terms of context. Just wanted to figure that out. Hope you're all clear so far. So let's proceed now. So here the Lord is accepting the curse spoken by the four Kumaras, but the Lord's will show the special mercy upon Jaya and Vijaya, since they are very, very close, intimate associates of the Lord. This will be shown at the end of the chapter as we drill down. So then Lord Brahma further says, this is what is happening in the hearts of four Kumaras. Now we've understood what is in the heart of the four Kumaras. Isn't it, dear devotees? Now we will move on to the further verses to understand what else is happening. The Lord Brahma further says, somehow or the other, the four Kumaras are convinced that Lord is displaying a pleasurable countenance. Lord's disposition is completely pleasing. Something like that they understood. So he seems to be pleasing with us. He's not angry with us. That much they could infer. And thinking thus, they could understand it's very difficult, but we could not understand the intention of the Supreme Lord. It's very difficult for us. So with the pleasing art, they have offered namaskar to Lord Vishnu, offered their obeisances on to Lord Vishnu, and they have, with a faltering voice, they just folded their hands and they said, what is the intention? With a faltering voice, they're asking, what is the intention of Supreme Lord? Why is he speaking like this? Somehow or the other, they are gathering this courage to speak to the Supreme Lord, because he's supreme, isn't it? To speak something to him, it's very, very difficult. And imagine the four Kumaras are in a confused state now, and they are seeming to put the words together in a faltering voice, because they are talking to who? The Supreme Personality of Godhead. So the 16th verse. Now we are going to...
Mataji, are you sharing any screen or no?
No PPT, Mataji, today.
Okay, no worries.
Hare Krishna. The 16th verse, 16th to 25th verse is talking about the fact the Kumaras are speaking to Lord Vishnu. Okay, so eventually they are going to beg for forgiveness. All these things are going to be mentioned in this verse that is starting from 16. So 16, yeah. The Kumaras, they are responding to Lord Narayana. So now he says, my dear Lord, we cannot understand what you're doing, why you're doing your activities. You have come out of the inner chambers of your gate. That is one astonishing thing. What is one astonishing thing? You have come out of your chambers. And second astonishing thing is you have come with Mother Lakshmi. And you're pleased in your demeanor. You're very, very pleased. You seem to be very pleased. This is another astonishing thing. And we have come to your abode. We are entering into your abode without proper courtesy, without proper etiquette. And we have cursed your associates. We've actually made a mistake. But still, you seem to be expressing satisfaction with us. So we cannot understand what you're doing, why you're doing this. This is our situation. Right? We have made a great mistake, but still you're showing anugraha to us. And you're actually brightly shining. So kindly reveal us, dear Lord, what is your intention? Don't keep us in this kind of a suspense, right? We're not used to the suspense. We are in a dilemma. We are speaking something which seems to be against what we have done. So kindly reveal what exactly you want us to do. And so something like that, they are requesting the Supreme Lord, kindly reveal what is your intention. Don't put us into a suspense or dilemma. So now, the next few verses, the Brahmanas, they speak out. The Brahmanas, we all know, they are considered to be the representative of the Supreme Lord on the earth. They are very, very eager to serve the Supreme Lord. Because they are serving the Supreme Lord, they are served by people in general. Because if you look at Brahmanas, the other Varnas, they serve the Brahmanas. Since we are serving you, we are being served by others. So the Brahmanas are worshipable because they have accepted what? The object of worship as the Supreme Lord. That is their true identity. But what you're saying is that it's kind of illogical. Kindly clarify. This was the first request they made. The first thing they wanted to be clarified. Oh, whatever you are speaking, Lord, is illogical to us. We are the representatives of the Supreme Lord. Only because of you, people are fond of us. They accept us as a Prabhu. They are eager to serve us only because we have accepted your shelter. So whatever you spoke, dear Lord, it seems illogical. Kindly clarify. This was the first request that they made in verse number 17. Then coming to verse number 18, they say, Sanatan Dharma, the eternal religious principles, you are glorified there in the Vedic literature as Sattvatunu. Your form, you are the eternal religious principles. You are born from that, and you are Sanatana Purusha. And you make the appearance again and again in this world to protect what? To protect Sanatan Dharma. And in order to re-establish the principles of Sanatan Dharma, you appear again and again in the form of various incarnations. So here the four Kumaras are saying the same thing. You are actually Sanatan Purusha, and from your body appears Sanatan Dharma, and you appear in various avatars in order to protect that Sanatan Dharma, to re-establish the principles of Sanatan Dharma. You come here. And in order to protect the principles of Dharma, in order to protect, you appear in various avatars, in the form of various devotees. So what they are trying to say here is that the Brahmanas, they may teach Vedic literature, they may teach various things, but it is you and your devotees who teach bhakti. This is the point that the four Kumaras want to clarify. And we consider that those devotees of you, they are non-different from you. Because why? They have taken shelter of your lotus feet. And this is obtained only by your devotees. And they are the highest religious principle of Dharma. So this is the point that they are trying to bring. That, they are always engaging, the devotees of the Lord, they are always engaging in the path of bhakti, and their life and soul is to preach the glories of bhakti. If you're the final fruit of practicing Sanatan Dharma, that is the highest secret. The highest secret of Sanatan Dharma is to get you as one's object of worship, get the association of your lotus feet in the spiritual world. That is the highest understanding of the Sanatan Dharma. But the Brahmanas, they may glorify other things also. They don't exclusively glorify bhakti. They may glorify other things such as going to Swarga, having different kinds of goals. They may glorify that also, not exclusively bhakti. So Brahmanas, they are not the real representatives of you. Who are the real representatives? It is the bhaktas. It is the bhaktas. They are the real representatives of Lord Vishnu. So this is what the four Kumaras are indicating to Lord Vishnu. Then they are further continuing. So in this verse, 18th verse, we are specifically talking about Sanatan Dharma, the glory of Sanatan Dharma, what is the highest secret of Sanatan Dharma, and who are the real worshippers of the Supreme Lord, that is the devotees. Because they glorify and preach bhakti all the time. But we Brahmanas, we glorify other things such as Swarga, Brahman, and other things also. So in that perspective, we are not real representatives. Now further on, 19th verse. They are saying, it is by your mercy, that is the mercy of your devotees, The living entities of this world can go beyond the material existence, right? It is only through you. We can go and go. See, we are in this material world, the samsara, and we can go out of this material world only through your kripa, only through your mercy. And how can you say that you must get the mercy from others such as brahmanas, such as us, who are practicing yoga such as jnana and yoga? And you say that you need to get the mercy of the brahmanas, those who are practicing jnana or yoga, but those they attain mukti only by their mercy. Who is dependent on whom? You say you are dependent upon the causeless mercy of the brahmanas, but the brahmanas are actually dependent on your mercy to get mukti. So your words now, it is not incomprehensible. It is very not at all comprehensible for us. No, we are not able to understand, my dear Lord. Kindly help us understand your words. It's very, very confusing for us. They are pleading like this to Lord Vishnu. They are really stating fact by fact, what is the problem? Whatever you have told, we have a contradiction here. We have something different from what you have told us. So kindly help us understand the disconnect that we are seeing between the two, what you said and what we perceive. Please help us understand. So this is how they are continuing, and they are telling further. My dear Lord, you also say you respect the brahmanas since you worship the brahmanas. Since you take the dust of the lotus feet of the brahmanas onto your head, you become more powerful. Your feet has become glorified because of that. This is what you say. And from your feet emits Ganga to purify the 3 planetary systems. You're saying all these things. And yet you are constantly, you're saying all these things. You're saying all these things. And Mother Lakshmi, if you look at her, she's constantly situated worshipping your lotus feet. You say you have no attraction for her. You're telling all these things. But Mother Lakshmi's other manifested form of wealth, prosperity, success, this is anticipated by the Devatas. That is what the Devatas want. All the living entities up to Lord Brahma, what is their intention? Oh, can Mother Lakshmi glance upon us? And that way we would get some wealth, prosperity, success in our life. So they're always eager to worship her lotus feet. And that Lakshmi, who is worshipped by the great personalities of this entire universe, she is engaged in worshipping your lotus feet. And you see that you're not interested in her. It may be so because you're not interested in her, maybe because she's your wife. But we know actually that you have special affection for Mother Lakshmi. How do we know? She's the best of the devotees. Just like a bumblebee, it wants to closely associate with the tulsi garland, which is kept on your neck. Mother Lakshmi, she's always eager to stay on your chest. And you fulfill her desire because she has the devotional attitude. You being pleased with her devotional attitude, you fulfill her desire. Because Mother Lakshmi is the best of the devotees, just like a tulsi garland always rests upon your chest. You also keep Mother Lakshmi on your chest all the time. So you give shelter to all your devotees at your lotus feet. And it is you who give shelter to the best of the devotees at your lotus feet. And Mother Lakshmi, she is the best of the devotees, always serving your lotus feet. How can you say you need to worship the lotus feet of the brahmanas in order to get the power to purify the world? This also seems very, very illogical to us. We are not at all able to comprehend. Kindly help us understand what is the intention of your words. What you're doing seems to be quite illogical or difficult for us to comprehend. We are not able to understand. And like this, they continue. It's such an interesting set of segments that is being spoken by the 4 Kumaras with Lord Vishnu. Such an interesting segment. I just wanted to appreciate the verse that Srila Prabhupada has given us verse by verse, because so much spoken about in these verses. But anyways, let's go further. And if we are running out on time, I'll try to cut short also, no worries. And then they are saying the pure devotees, they always want to be in your association. Just like you keep the lotus leaves on your lotus feet, you keep all your devotees very close to the lotus feet. And just like you feed, you keep the you keep the tulsi garland on your neck, which is touching onto your chest. You keep Mother Lakshmi, the best of the devotees, on your chest, not because she's your wife, because she's the best of all your devotees. This is kind of the respect you show to your devotees. And only and you only show words of respect for Brahmanas. But in case of devotees, what do? You give very special affection to them. This is the greatness the devotees have. They get very, very special attention. It is just not words of glorification, just glorify and be done with it. But devotees, they are getting very, very special attention from you and special affection. So now, again, the Lord, he possesses all the 6 opulences in full. This is what Vishnu Purana says. Aishwaryasya, Samagrasya, Viryasya, Yashaha, Shriya, everything 6 opulences in full. And Lord, who is the embodiment of 6 opulences in full completeness, he has it. And why does he need to worship the Brahmanas in order to get the power to purify the world? Really, you need to answer this, my dear Lord. Then they say, my dear Lord, we know that you appear in the 3 yugas. That's why you're called Tri-yugi. In order to uplift the principles of Dharma, in order to protect the principles of Dharma, you appear with your 6 opulences, the 6 opulences of Bhagavan. And that is, you appear in the form of Sattvatanu, pure goodness. In order to destroy the tamas and rajas, you always appear in Sattvatanu. And with this Sattvatanu, you appear again and again in different yugas, and you protect the principles of Sanatana Dharma. This is what you do. And by doing, you make the Brahmanas and Devatas very peaceful, because you are re-establishing the principles of Sanatana Dharma. And whenever there is an increment in Rajas and Tamas, the Brahmanas and the Devatas, they are troubled, isn't it? So in order to bring them to a normal, peaceful situation, what you're doing, you appear in Sattvatanu and destroy Rajas and Tamas and re-establish the principles of Sanatana Dharma. Like this, they were talking, and they were again saying, yes, so we are saying that you appear in the 3 yugas and various avatars to protect Dharma, to protect Brahmanas, to protect Devatas. How can you say that you get the power from us by worshipping the Brahmanas? Sorry, we are not able to understand your words, my dear Lord. Kindly explain us. So, like this, they are speaking, and 23rd verse also, 23rd, 24th, 25th, they are also trying to talk about the same. They are again asking a question. How can you say that, we are responsible? By worshipping us, you are getting the power. They ask that. So now finally they are saying 25th verse, we could say, they say, whatever blessings or punishments you award to these 2 gatekeepers, we accept, my dear Lord. Whatever you decide, that will be final. Because we cannot understand what you're saying. We cannot comprehend your intention. Now we are submitted to your lotus feet. We don't know whether what we have done is right or wrong. So considering whether our thing is right or wrong, maybe you may punish the 4 Kumaras, you may punish us. If you think if our thing is right, maybe, if you think we did something wrong, you can punish us. But if you think Jaya and Vijaya did something wrong, you can punish them. We consider no reason for no sin on the part of Jaya and Vijaya. We've cursed them heavily because we thought, okay, they committed, something that's not recommended. So they have performed a sin, and that is why we gave them a suitable punishment. But we are ready to accept punishment because we now feel that we have unnecessarily cursed the faultless gatekeepers. This is what we feel now. But if you feel, on the other hand, that our curse is right, then maybe you can punish those 2 gatekeepers. Otherwise, you may bless them and punish us. We are ready to accept either. This is our request, my dear Lord. We would appreciate if you could do the needful. Whatever is the needful, kindly do that. Whatever is good for the current time, kindly do that. So this is the final request that the 4 Kumaras made, and this is told by Brahmaji. So with this, the 4 Kumaras, they now stop speaking. They just expressed their concern to Lord, and they finally concluded saying, we accept our mistake. If you think it is our mistake, we are ready to accept anything that you may give us. And if you think we have did the right thing, then you may punish the Jaya and Vijaya. That way, we would be justified also. So whatever you do, that's fine with us. But whatever you say, that is the final, my dear Lord. That's what the 4 Kumaras said. And now, Lord's response. This is a beautiful section, my dear devotees. You should all relish this. Let's dive into that and understand what is the Lord saying to the four Kumaras. It's a very, very interesting verse. Okay. So, as per you, you have cursed the four Kumaras. Lord is speaking. Who you should understand who the speaker is here. Okay. So, as per you understand that you've cursed the four Kumaras and they are supposed to go to the lower planetary system. If you have cursed them, I mean, obviously, the Lord is trying to say here is that, I mean, they are supposed to go to Rasatala. That is not the Gati of the Devatas, but the Gati of others who are not Devatas. That means lower planetary system. They are supposed to go there. So if you have cursed them to become Asuras, let them go to Rasatala. And they will become Asuras if they go to Rasatala. Let them be, I mean, now that you have told them to go to the material world, I mean, Rasatala here is implying material world because the material world is composed of demoniac people. But what is, so the Lord is giving some hints here. He's saying, let them go to the material world. And how do they stay in that loka? Let them be completely absorbed in anger and envy towards me. Let them be completely absorbed in yoga, in samadhi, in the state of samadhi. But there is anger towards me. This is the feeling they will have, completely absorbed, always thinking about the Lord. In samadhi means there is no break. They are continuously thinking about the Lord all the time. There is no interruption to their thinking. It is flowing. The thoughts of the Lord are flowing in them all the time. Imagine that situation. That is the situation we have to be in. All the time thinking about the Lord and never forgetting Lord at any moment. They are already in that state, but it is just mixed with a component of anger. Complete absorption out of anger. Let them experience this. Let them always be united in me. Though they may look like in the body of Asura, but let them always be united with me. And you know what? Let them come back to me quickly and become my gatekeepers. This is my request. Let them go to the abode of Asuras. Let them continue to be united with me in samadhi, in an angry mood towards me. But let them come back to me and reunite with me as soon as possible by becoming Jaya and Vijaya. This is the request of the Lord. My dear four Kumaras, don't worry. Don't worry. It is all because of your curse. Don't worry. It is all because of your curse. Not like that. It is all my original plan. It is my ordaining. I mean, I wanted this to happen. I already ordained this to happen. So the four Kumaras, you're just becoming an instrument to this particular instrument. I've already decided that Jaya and Vijaya, they are supposed to become Asuras. And by becoming Asuras, they are, you know, what you have done, you just became an instrument. So don't worry. Don't take it seriously. Don't get into any confusion on this thing. I ordained this should happen and it has happened. So the Supreme Lord kind of pacified the Kumaras, that is, and then Jaya and Vijaya on the other side. Both of them, he tried to pacify. The four Kumaras, they clearly mentioned, right? There was a question and answer. Now Lord is giving this one response to clarify the whole scenario here. So basically what is happening? Sometime back, Jaya and Vijaya one day they thought that the Supreme Lord is appearing again and again in various rasas and he's kind of fighting with people. But the asuras that he's fighting are puny asuras. They are not, strong ones. So the Supreme Lord is not able to experience viryaras. So he cannot fight, with the people in the material world with that vigor because they are not competent enough. So that viryaras is not, the Lord is not able to experience that viryaras. So, and he cannot fight with us. We are the residents of Vaikunta. Because we are the servants of the Supreme Lord, we are supposed to respect him. And how he can fight with us? He does not release the joy of fighting with a person. He does not relish the joy of fighting with a person who is puny. So why can't we both become opponent party to the Supreme Lord in order to give pleasure to the Lord in viryaras? This was the thought that cherished Jaya and Vijaya sometime back. Being the Supreme Lord, being the Paramatma in every living entity, the Supreme Lord understood the desire of Jaya and Vijaya. So in order to facilitate the desire of Jaya and Vijaya, the Supreme Lord is performing this entire pastime. So, but somehow or the other, without their knowledge, the four Kumaras, they have become instruments in this pastime. Of course, the Lord does not want the four Kumaras to become the instruments, but they themselves volunteered to be the instruments in this pastime. So Lord did not reveal this, of course, to the four Kumaras. He said, no problem. You people are Brahmanas. You people are intellectual people. You can't, you can understand. You can actually understand what I'm speaking. I'm, doing something to be in current with each other, but you can make out the meaning of it. Why do you want me to tell why do you want me to explain everything to you? I don't want to tell you anything. This is enough for you. But the Lord inside his heart is thinking that Jaya and Vijaya wanted to serve me in this way, to give me Viryaras. This is ordained by the Lord. But on the other hand, for a small mistake, this four Kumaras, they reacted in a great way with Jaya and Vijaya, my two associates. Though they may go down, they may become asuras and fight with fight with me, give pleasure to me in fighting, but they will come back to me quickly. But you four Kumaras, because of your unexpected anger towards my devotees, towards my intimate associates, because you are having such a kind of attitude, I'm only going to give you Shantaras. Shantaras is what I'm going to give you. You people will get Shantaras, but not higher rasas like Dasyaras, Vatsalyaras, Madhuryaras. No, I'm not going to give you that. So because of this mistake, you will become example of Shantarasa Bhaktas. So this is the result that the Lord gave to the four Kumaras for their hasty activity here in this particular pastime. So this is the result the Lord is awarding to the four Kumaras. And then we also understood what the Lord has awarded to the Jaya and Vijaya. So now, one of the important lessons that our Acharyas want to learn through this pastime, learning for us from this pastime is that we have to stay away from committing Vaishnava aparat. This is the very, very important principle. Again and again, the main problem is we start using our intelligence. When we start using our intelligence, what happens is we start to criticize devotees, because the intelligence, it acts in a certain way. We start to use our intelligence and other components of the subtle body along with the intelligence, and then we come up with a justification why we do what we do. But if you have to progress in devotional service, if you have to please Lord Krishna, we are supposed to stay away from any kind of criticism of the Vaishnavas whatsoever. It could be right, wrong, no problem, but we have to stay away from it. We are not supposed to justify anything. They have taken the shelter of the holy name of the Lord. That means they are in the shower. They are in the process of getting cleansed. Whatever the Vaishnavas are committed, they have taken the shelter of the Lord. That means how can you criticize a person who has taken the shelter of the holy names of the Lord? That means you don't have trust on the holy name. The holy name will purify the person. And who are we to criticize? We are supposed to only serve. That should be our motive. And wherever even criticism is being talked about, we have to walk out of that place. Dear devotees, it's very important to stay away from Vaishnava aparat. That is the very important lesson that is being talked about in this pastime. It's a great offense. If even the greatest devotees can fall from Vaikuntha because of a great offense. What to speak of people who are having dull reflections? We are sadhakas. We are having dull reflections. We don't even understand any kind of subject matter. The people of Kali Yuga are manda. They are not dull-headed. They don't understand anything. And how long will it take for sadhakas, like dull-minded sadhakas like us, to fall down from this earthly planet? So this is very important instruction for us. This is to teach us not to perform any offense against the Supreme Lord or his devotees. We have to abstain. This entire pastime is focusing on this lesson. So the Lord spoke like this, and then he became quiet. First we saw the Kumaras, they spoke everything, they became quiet. Now the Lord, he spoke this one verse and he became quiet. Then Brahma Vacha, Brahmaji is continuing his narration. Then what happened? A lot of interesting events are happening from verse 28. So understanding, Lord seems to be pleased with the four Kumaras. They did everything. The four Kumaras became very happy. They got the darshan of the Supreme Lord, and then they had darshan of Vaikuntha. They heard from the Supreme Lord. Not only they got darshan, but they heard from the Supreme Lord. And what did they do after that? They did a parikrama around the Supreme Lord. They offered their respectful obeisances unto the Supreme Lord, and they returned from Vaikuntha with a happy face. This is what they did. And the Lord now speaks to Jaya and Vijaya. He spoke to the four Kumaras, but what about Jaya and Vijaya? He's saying, the Lord is telling, I'll make it short, okay? I'm not going to go through all of Prabhupada's commentary, but we'll just make it really quick. The Lord is telling to Jaya and Vijaya, go to the material world, but you do not fear. Though I can nullify the Brahmana's curse, I don't desire to go against my own rules. I don't want to go against my own rules that I've set forth. Again, this departure was also foretold by Mother Lakshmi, it seems. She was angry when you guys, Jaya and Vijaya, you stopped her from entering the gate when I was sleeping. You stopped Mother Lakshmi also. So Mother Lakshmi, she predicted this would happen. Then what you should do, Jaya and Vijaya, is that you should do Sambramba Yogena. That is, you should meditate on me in anger. You will overcome the offense to the Brahmanas. But by this meditation, what is going to happen? Whatever offense that you have done to the Brahmanas, it will go away and you will return to me shortly thereafter. So though you're going to have the mentality of the demons, you're going to think of me and you're going to serve me. I will experience pure happiness, that is Viryaras, by fighting with you two guys. So this is what I'm going to relish. You're going to come in 3 different avatars. I'm going to fight with you. I'm going to relish that fight and I'm going to enjoy and get that Viryaras. So thus, after speaking at the door of Vaikuntha, the Lord returned to his abode, where there are many celestial planes and all surpassing wealth and splendor. So this is what happened up to verse, we've been discussing 29 to 31, where the Lord spoke to Jaya and Vijaya. Now, finally, Brahmaji, we have to see how does he conclude the narration, right? This is a very important section where he's concluding from 33 to 37. He's saying Jaya and Vijaya lost their luster because they did Brahmasapa, and then they fell from Vaikuntha. As they were falling, a great roar of disappointment arose from all the demigods. Then they entered into the womb of Diti through the semen of Kashyapa Muni. We know that story. And again, it is the prowess of these 2 asuras that has disturbed you. There is no remedy within my power. However, it is the Lord himself who desires to do all this. So Brahmaji is saying it is the Lord who desires to do all of this. The Devatas are saying, no, we don't have control over this. They are Devatas when they went to Brahmaji. Brahmaji is saying, I don't have any control over the situation. It is Lord himself who desires to do this. No remedy for this. The demigods asked Brahma, when will the Lord mitigate the situation? When will the Lord mitigate? The Lord alone will come for our rescue, says Brahma. He is the controller of the 3 modes. He is responsible for the creation, dissolution of the universe. He is responsible and he cannot be understood easily. So what's the use of us deliberating about the subject matter? He has to come and he has to take care of the situation. He knows when to do what, because he is the controller. He is responsible for this creation, preservation and annihilation. So he is a very ancient person. He is the most ancient person. And he cannot be understood by the masters of yoga. So what is the use of deliberating? Like this, Brahmaji is concluding this narration of the 16th chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam, 3rd canto. So I will now pay my obeisances to all of you on the call. Vanchakalpatarubhyasya kripasindubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Ananta Koti Vaishnav Vrind ki jai, Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaura Bhakta Vrind ki jai. All glories to all of you, all glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to all of our acharyas. Thank you again for giving this opportunity, Bhakti Sangha, and I really appreciate it. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Dandavat Pranam. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. You are super narrator, Mataji. You were narrating very nicely. Mataji, did you end it right? Did I spoke in between?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, because
Can I say something?
yeah.
I like the class, Mataji, when you were saying that they were saying that the
Doorkeepers.
yeah, the doorkeepers were saying to Vishnu that Lakshmi is worshipper of best of the devotees.
Correct, correct. Yes. Beautiful.
Thank-
Mataji, I really loved your class, Mataji.
Oh,
I wish you could come in summer camp
Oh, she already came once. She's going to come again. Yeah.
again.
Yeah, she'll come again. Yeah.
Mhm.
She's asking for summer camp. Okay. Mataji, very beautiful class. And this chapter, basically, you are stressed on more about Vaishnava Aparad. We have to be very, very careful. And it's very nice how it is very important that we should not even be in the assembly where something is going on, gossips or anything. Better just kick ourselves and move from there. It is very, very much needed, and that is the main focus of this chapter. Thank you so much for explaining, and how all the questions that they were asking to the Lord. It was so interesting, Mataji, to hear. The flow was super good, Mataji. Thank you so much for explaining it very, very nicely. Very grateful to you, Mataji. Thank you so much.
Mataji. Thank you for this opportunity. Hare Krishna.
Sorry for all the trouble, Mataji.
Oh, no, not at all. What trouble? I just had to log in Bhakti Sangha.
Actually, I had to go out for the swimming class for Vrinda. I forgot
Oh.
about it.
Oh, no. Please, Mataji, you're working 24/7. You're our Bhakti Sangha guru.
Nothing like that, Mataji. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Anybody having any realizations, questions, please go ahead.
Hare Krishna, Radhika Kasturi Mataji. Dandavat Pranam. All glories to you. So happy to hear from you today, Mataji. I was not able to join for the whole session, but what I heard, like what Mataji said, wow, your narration is so captivating, Mataji. Definitely, we would just sit glued to what you're saying. It will enter our ears very, very quickly. So thank you so much for that. And I really loved how, the Kumara's interaction with the Lord was, and finally how the Lord, I mean, this is a very, very sweet chapter. I love how the Lord finally expresses his, his opinion. I mean, he expresses his thoughts so beautifully. And both are definitely very dear. Both of them are very dear to the Lord. And he shows how Jaya and Vijaya's inner desire was fulfilled by the Lord. Thank you so much, Mataji. Very sweet. I really liked how you explained also about Lakshmi Devi's position, because many times the Lord always says this, right? I don't care so much about Lakshmi Devi. But you explain that, still he says that, but he doesn't really mean it.
Really mean it. The intention is completely different.
I love that part. Thank you so much, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. It's been such a long time. After a long time, I'm hearing you and your beautiful words. Thank you so much for your kindness. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna. I really enjoyed reading through all because of Bhakti Sangha. I think I went into the purports and
I remember
understood
how
everything.
Radharani says about Krishna, right? Oh, don't at all go and talk to him, or
if you go, you're going to be caught.
inside she has so much love, and outside she expressed that like that. Yeah, very nice. Is that if nobody having any realization, we can end the call here. I would like to offer my obeisances to Mataji and all the Vaishnavas assembled on the call. Vancha kalpatarubhyasya kripa sindhubhyevacha patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Ananta Koti Vaishnav Vrinda ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Her Grace Radhika Kasturi Mataji
All
ki
glories
jai.
to the assembled devotees. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, dear devotees. Please join us next week
Hare Krishna.
for the next chapter. Hare Krishna. Bye bye.